Good morning and welcome back to our Stony Creek journey. It is 7:30 in the morning and the flies are already out. Look, they're all over you. Can't stand still for too long. But we finally found where some of the other ducks are laying their eggs. And you can see a couple of little eggs under there. And the other place they're laying them is on the little pontoon that Robert made. I collected one from there yesterday, so I'm going to have to collect that again. That's a bit of a challenge, so we'll see how we go. We have got a duck cage that our neighbours gave us that was an old dog pen, and we're going to put that together for the ducks, but let's see if I can get this egg on the pontoon.
Without falling in.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not too hot. Hopefully no snakes. I do feel
Bingo.
yay! Wipe the duck poo off. They're such gorgeous eggs, duck eggs. We haven't started eating them yet, but we're using them for baking. And I do cook pancakes with them and feed them back to the chooks. But I want to get better at actually trying one to eat. But they're such beautiful big eggs. And then we've still got our duck sitting on, how many eggs did we say?
20 odd.
16, I think, something like that. But yay. But we'll show you putting the duck pen up together. Might not be this video, might be the next, but we'll see how we go. Down at one of my new apple trees that I planted 2 years ago. First time it's had apples on it. And yesterday was laden with apples. This is what cockatoos can do. This morning came out and look, there's still a couple of apples left, but they've broken quite a few branches, so clearly next year I'm going to have to cover this tree. There's still a couple of trees with apples, but our main apples are in the orchard, which they can't get to, which is great, but very sad. Wildlife, the ups and downs. So here's our duck pen that the neighbours gave us that they used to use for their dog. So we thought we might put it together so that we can, well, protect the ducks also, but also find their eggs. We have found a little nest and we have got the duck on the other eggs, but we're going to put this enclosure together. So we're just putting up the sides, and it's got netting. No instructions.
No, it's just a jigsaw puzzle. Trying to work out how it goes together.
And we think we'll just leave it down here near the dam.
Yeah, up on the bank here.
Yeah, and then put them in at night and let them out in the morning. Got the netting on. It was a little bit of an ordeal because it was stuck to itself. Go around and fix up the rest of the netting. And this will be handy.
We're in the pig area and we've just put the Burger Boys and Uzuri in here to chop down some of these seed heads. I contacted the pig man and he'll have a litter ready for us to pick up 3 pigs the end of December. So where are we now? Hello. We're at the start of November, or middle of November, so I've got another month and a half, so look after this paddock and we can graze it off now and it'll grow back enough for when the pigs come. But there's some really good grasses in here and lots of clover. Not as many brassicas that I had last year for the pigs, but we'll let them root this area up first and then we'll sow it back into a salad mix for the pigs, which then they can come back on. The girls are coming. Little ants coming down the hill. Hello, darling. Hello, Whiteface. Come on, girls. The Ziri Burger Boys and the sheep are all in the long paddock now. I moved them this morning. Hello, Miss Green Whiteface. And there's nothing nicer than seeing contented animals. This long paddock I've had rested for quite a while, and it's come back a lot better than it did last year actually. And it's starting to look good. There was a heap of flatweed in here last year and there's a lot less of it. I have sown some different bits and bobs, and I'll just pop through the fence. There's all sorts of things growing in this paddock, and we have fed the animals, you know, leftovers from our bean crop, and which they actually love. And there's some beans growing up there. What else have we got? Got a lot of radish and a few other things. I did see a couple of corn in here yesterday because I've been fixing up the fence line because the Burger Boys have been pushing through the fence, and we had one out on the road a couple of weeks back. But there's nothing nicer than seeing contented. They'll all be sitting down in an hour and chewing their cuds like this one.
Early morning again, we're down just checking the cows. Robert's a little bit concerned about Panda and her foot, but this morning she's up. Yesterday she was sitting down quite a bit. But Symbol is getting a bit of an udder. She's only about probably 2.5 weeks from her due date. You're getting ready to have a baby. So hopefully it's all going to be good. Spring rain here has moved on past her ordeal, but you see she's quite thin now. And Panda's not due till Feb, but yeah, she's had that sore foot, but Robert trimmed the toes and we were hoping that that's going to work. We've got a foot guy or hoof man coming down, but not till January. Yeah. And Big Dad attacks. But we are so nice and green. We've got lots of feed, which is good. Robert trying to give Tex. He likes having his head scratched. But like everybody, on their own terms. Whoop, no, not today.
This is Panda, our 6 or 7 year old Belted Galloway. And today I'm going to attempt to trim her front hooves. And this is all the kit that I've got to attempt it. As you can see here, her front hoof is starting to split and it doesn't look that good. So there's no one else in the district that I can find that can do it, and both her front feet need doing. So I've watched a few YouTubes. You probably won't see me YouTubing or videoing me actually doing it because it's a bit hard to do it at the same time. Support her, she's about 600-700 kilos in the crush. First I've got to get her in there and then tie her feet up and support her across the middle or across her chest, so if she doesn't go down in the crush, which might be problematic. So we'll have a go. I'll show you the end result. Here's Panda in the crush. So she was a good girl. I put a halter on her before and she objected to that and kicked over all her chaff. But I still managed to get a halter on her and led her up through the race because they're stubborn sometimes. It's much easier to lead them on a lead. So let's have a go at trimming her hoof.
So I've started hoof trimming, and this is just a quickie because she's being good at the minute, but I've just given her a rest.
Poor old Panda, but she did a good job. I only managed to grind my thumb once and I managed not to get kicked, so
I've trimmed up both the front feet and now she's standing, you can't see the other one over there, but she is standing now flatter. She doesn't have big long toenails on the outer. I took it right back to, you know, the fleshy part of, not the bit that, like the toenail bit on the underneath, and she's now standing at about 50 degrees on her hoof, rather than it was really splayed out, and she was standing on the back of her foot. So it'll probably take a few days before I see any difference, or she sees any difference. I couldn't see any sign of infection anywhere, so that's good. There were no abscesses. But I've just released her head and I'll leave her on halter, and I'll go and get the antiseptic spray just to give it a spray in between the toes. But we're happy now, Panda? No, not at all. She's not happy at all. So that's Panda done, and she is walking, even just walking her down from the yards. She's walking much better already, so it'll take a few days hopefully. I could have probably done a bit more after looking at it, but I've actually contacted a hoof trimming guy, and he's got all the gear to doing it safely. And the other guys are coming to visit her because she's been away from these guys for 2.5 days now. That's her daughter. Spells her, come to say hello. Tex in the background. So she did quite well, and I learnt a lot on trimming a hoof. I might get a different attachment for my angle grinder. I obviously need better yards to do it in. Tying her leg up and supporting her at the same time was a bit problematic. Yeah, saying hello. Where you been? But she's walking better already. You've already serviced her, Tex.
Bowser always loves a pat. But Symbol likes a pat too, don't you, darling? Mama? And Big Dada in the back there. He comes up and he's very friendly most of the time. He's such a handsome boy, but his coat is looking so nice and shiny.
You're moving away.
Absolutely. I agree. Everybody looking good. Hopefully Panda, she's certainly looking a bit better than yesterday, so that's good.
There's Tex coming up to say hello. Hello, big boy. Hello. 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 You're such a gentleman, aren't you? Hey? You know I've got a brush. You gonna follow me? Hello, Spelzer. Hello, darling. They sneak up behind you when you're standing there and give you a nudge, don't you, darling? Bit close, eh? Here's Tex going for another look to see if I'll brush him. Hey, big boy. Hey, got it out. I'll give you a brush, okay? Oh, Spelzer just gave me a bump. Okay, I'll get the brush out. It's Sunday morning and it's going to be a nice warm day. It's 7:30 and the flies are already out in force. But Panda here, her front feet are looking quite good, but her hind legs, her back left side is quite swollen. Hello, Spelzer's come up and given me a bump from behind. That's the foot there that's causing her problem. So I'm going to attempt to get her in today and trim up her back feet. But I particularly wanted to... Spelzer's right behind me. Hello, sweetie. Hey? Yeah. You're a good girl. I particularly wanted to come down and see what Symbol is up to, because she's on calf alert in the next 2 weeks by our records, and her udder's starting to bag up nicely. Her back end's not getting too floppy, but it's starting to get a bit loose, isn't it, darling? Hey? Hey? You will have a cute calf, hopefully. Morning, Tex. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good week until we catch up next time.